right, Joshua David Miller.
All right, Robert Michael Reed Casey.
Nobody. I wonder if either A, Sean Payton watches our podcast, or two, did I predict the future?
I think the pettiest I've ever been is I participated in a campaign when a TV show got canceled.
Like literal Joshua Miller.
Oh, yes.
Not Pax. He
That's
packs
me.
minutes before. He's going to take a nap before he leaves. I don't think any musical is my cup of tea.
Here we go. Hey, hold my beer.
Primal Beef Jerky is a sponsor of the Chubby Buddies podcast, and they have given us to give to you, our listeners. Ooh, I got mine too.
Yeah.
I got my 2 bags. I got sweet and spicy, and
Ooh,
the
nice choice.
bacon jalapeno.
Ooh, I'm also rocking the bacon jalapeno. I got cracked pepper over here, man. I'm rocking my 2 favorites.
They were
Bacon
all out when I
jalapeno
went to go
and
get
cracked
some.
Mm.
But they've reached out to us to be a sponsor of the Chubby Buddies podcast to give back to our listeners. They love helping out small things that are goals. They want to make I guess goals become reality for people who want to actually do things.
Chubby people snacks, and we are chubby people, and we love our snacks.
Facts. But no, Primal Beef Jerky is not only a sponsor of the Chubby Buddies podcast, but they are a small batch beef jerky company locally owned here in Kansas. They can be found in 5 states inside of 400 plus stores. That is Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Arkansas. And if you're not near any of those 5 states or in those 400 plus stores, do not worry. Especially being a listener, this is going to be your payment for helping us out by spreading the word of the podcast. And that is going to www.feedonprimal.com. And at checkout, use promo code CHUBBY, that's CHUBBY, and receive 15% off your order. And if you reach a $50 cap, you get free shipping. So if you get the 15% off and you've reached the $50 cap, it's equivalent to almost 1 free bag of beef jerky. So if you're a fan of any type of jerky out there, give this one a try, and it will have you second guessing jerky from here on out. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
I will speak to that. I will put that on my gravesite if that was ever going to be a thing, because I would go to the grave by saying that, because I was surprised, because I'm not a sweet and spicy type of guy. I'm also not a sweet meat type of person, and my favorite flavor from them is the sweet and spicy. Not too spicy, and then also not too sweet. Josh, would you also agree with that?
I would agree with that. And it's crazy because when I first did my ranking, sweet and spicy was low. It was the lowest one, I'm pretty sure. And it has climbed. That and teriyaki has climbed over the months because it's just so good every time I come back to it. Like, there isn't a bad flavor. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still love bacon jalapeno. Still tops the list for me. And yet, I find myself going to the ones that I don't eat that often, mainly because I like just changing it up. Not because like I'm getting bored of the flavor, but I just love changing it up. It's like, how do you resist it when you have 6 different like amazing flavors? Mm-hmm. So to me, that's it. Like, you're not going to go wrong with a flavor of Primal. Pretty much everything tastes great. You'll find ones that you like a little bit more. But I can tell you, the more you eat it, the more you're going to find yourself leaning towards flavors you didn't know you were liking, because Primal is just too good. It's just
I will take this.
Good.
I'm going to say this. Our guest that we had on last week was a wrestler. He called his opponent the flavor of the month. Primal is the flavor of the month every month, okay?
Every month. There's a new flavor every month. I mean, it's 6 flavors, but shoot, that's a new flavor every month.
For half a year, and then you just start back over. But their teriyaki is sneaky. Their sweet and spicy is perfect. Their cracked black pepper is on the top of the food chain for me.
Yeah.
Their bacon jalapeno is one of the most unique bacon flavors, because normally bacon.
Now, mind you, it's not hot. It's not spicy like jalapeno. They use the flavor profile of jalapenos and bacon fat, like the grease, the flavor, and the meat is like. Feels like marinated in this flavor. It's just got such a rich profile. So it's not hot. The jalapeno is not a hot flavor, but it does have that almost like that bite to it and it has that pepper taste of the jalapeno pepper. So you get that.
It's the balance. It's the balance of the bacon.
Yeah, it's not hot. It balances out that bacon so well.
But not only are they grade A beef jerky, they're a small batch beef jerky, so they care the first thing that they care about is quality over quantity. So that is why I would declare them the best beef jerky. They're the self-proclaimed world's best beef jerky, but I would back that 100%. So all you have to do as a listener,
USDA inspected, it's quality good.
Facts. And all you have to do as a listener is go to www.feedonprimal.com and at checkout, Josh, hit them with that promo code.
The promo code is Chubby. That's CHUBBY. That'll give you 15% off. And man, that and the free shipping, you're gonna get yourself a free bag of jerky.
All right, Joshua David Miller.
All right, Robert Michael Reed Casey.
Nobody knows my. Is it weird? Like, is that weird? Like, you know, like whenever you see like I guess it's kind of funny how you brought this up. Like when you're filling out like a paper or like let's just say it's an application, right? Do you have any maiden names? Do I have to put a maiden name on there? Would you say that I have a maiden name?
No, you don't have a maiden name.
Well, but like, wouldn't I technically have one? Because I was born.
No, you changed it, didn't you? Legally?
But I was born a Casey, or I was born a Reed, and then changed it to Casey. Just like if
you on forms where it asks other names that you've gone by, Robert Reed should go on there.
Yeah, that is true. But like maiden name,
as a kid, you weren't doing anything, so like you're not going to have any sort of history as Robert.
Right, but
Reed.
I just didn't know the actual rules of like the maiden name, because the maiden name is like marriage.
Yeah.
Right. Is that where the word maiden comes from?
Yeah. Yeah. It's your maiden name. It was your name when you were a maiden.
I just never thought of I just never really like sat here and thought about it like that hard until you brought it up. I was like, maiden, you know what? Like, I mean, if you think about it, like you don't meet any guy that has a maiden name unless he changes it at marriage.
Guys wouldn't. Guys don't change
Some
their name.
Some guys do. Very, very rarely they have changed it to match their wife's mate. Like they've taken their wife's last name. I've met one guy that's done.
I know. I know some guys will do that. That ain't me though.
I mean, I'm never gonna say never, because like if you love somebody enough, I'm sure that if you were that like into it, like I've got no reason to change my last name.
They can keep their own name.
Right.
But I'm not changing mine.
Like, so if Heather was like, "Hey, I really love my," like, would hyphenated be more towards your way, or would you rather say, "Hey, no, just make over"?
I would be open to hyphenated, but it would be the kids that hyphenate it, not me.
No, I'm saying her. Like,
oh yeah,
would you be okay with?
Yeah, she can hyphenate. That wouldn't bother me.
And you'd be cool if she kept her last name.
Yeah, I love her enough to do that. I'm not changing mine though.
Because the idea is to get your kids to pass on the name, not her.
Yeah.
Right?
Then that's not even that. Like, I'm not super concerned about that either. To me, the element of changing your name is because you become a part of that family. Right. That's the whole point. I just didn't know, I wouldn't have been mad if Jimmy said she wanted to keep her last name. Like, I've got no. And I get that, especially when they have kids. Like Jamie, especially having kids, I would totally understand that. Mom did that with BJ. She kept Simmons even after she divorced David because BJ had Simmons as his last name.
Right. And a lot of people that do divorce their husbands,
it's a pretty common thing for divorcees to keep the name because of the kid.
Well, I'm trying a new alcoholic beverage today.
What are you trying?
It is the Cider Boys hard ciders.
Ooh.
Have you ever had them?
I have not.
I've had their bottle. Like this one right here is called
cider though.
Yeah, this one is called a Strawberry Magic.
Ooh.
Apple and strawberry.
I would try that.
Then I have one that's called Pineapple Hula. Hula, Pineapple Hula.
Okay.
And then the second one is Raspberry Smash. So it's apple raspberry. So which one should I try first?
I want to try that raspberry.
I want to try the pineapple. Like I'm going to save that one for last.
Try the pineapple.
I'll try the pineapple last, but I'm going to drink this raspberry one first. And it's called Cider Boys.
Cider Boys.
And it's just hard apple cider with different flavors in it. So
don't worry,
I've had their plain.
Yet. He's just showing it off. They're not sponsors yet.
That raspberry is really good.
Yeah?
Really
raspberry
good.
Sounds like it would be good.
I can't wait to try the pineapple.
Bobby, this is a rough year of sports for me, man. My Chiefs are 0-1. Huh? My Cardinals are garbage.
You're I was like, wait, what? You're a Cardinals fan?
Yeah, baseball.
Now I got it.
It ain't pretty.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you were going to write a review about your sports, like, I'm a picky guy when it comes to, like, anything that I've paid for, right? Like, we don't pay for it as long as we don't go to it. If we could listen to the fans by writing a review, like, how would your review start for each individual sport? So, like, the Chiefs, like, you can't really write a review after game one. I can't say that.
I sure can.
Well, before we get into that, how would you begin a review for the Cardinals?
For the Cardinals? A little too late. Better luck next year. That would be my review.
That's a short review. 5 out of 5 stars. Is that a 2.5 star?
That's 1.5 stars at best.
1.5 stars.
And
all right.
A little too late is congratulations, you traded for pitchers. You wasted half a season to do it, and we're still not prepared to pitch with them.
But what about your manager? Would you include the manager in that bad review, or does he have?
Yes, all he needs to be in the bad review. I don't know that it's get rid of him. I think he needs next year to prove what he can do. But if he can't get something together next year, he's gone.
Well, I mean, that's why we have reviews. We need to if we were going to let our fan base, like, write our reviews of why the team is so great, like.
Here's the thing. I don't think
without a doubt.
The problem. I don't think Ollie's the problem. What I think is the issue is Mo and the staff of the Cardinals were riding the wave of Yachty a little too long. They didn't prepare for what was coming after Yachty. We got Wilson, but we didn't prepare him. Wilson came in, he's not ready to go. And I think we were kind of expecting him to step in and just lead like Yachty does. And that's not fair. Yeah. So in his absence, we don't have somebody really leading, and I think that's got to change.
So were the expectations too high for one player? Is that what you're saying?
I think the expectations were just that somehow that Yachty could go and we could get everybody in place, and that somehow we would do that without stumbling. Says to me that we weren't prepared for the transition. We knew it was coming and we didn't prepare for it well.
Well, the only thing that could, like, I guess you can't get worse in the off. I mean, you can get worse in the off season, but you won't see it until the regular season plays
that's the problem.
out.
You don't really know it until spring training.
So,
and that's the
thing.
There's
no way to actually.
We could tell, especially when Waino went down at the beginning of the season, we could tell our pitching was struggling. But we've pretty much relied on
struggling, yeah. But like you guys went from second.
You
guys were in third place for a long time. You guys were in third place for a long time.
Dude. But truthfully, Miklas is the only one producing anything on our team. The only one producing anything. So,
well, I'm excited to see what happens with the Cubs, since they are the number 1 wild card team in the division. So, I mean, I'm happy about that. So, whether the season is short or whether the postseason is short for them or not, it's still going to be exciting to watch.
True.
You're not going to watch it because it's
not for me.
Not for you, yeah.
Fan,
but the only thing that you're going to be able to pay attention to is trades at this point, because you don't hear very many stuff about players that they just drafted. So, that's the downfall about Major League Baseball.
I do think Cardinals have one of the best, like, up and coming crews. Like, we've got so many guys that are on the edge of coming up that are pretty good. Even some of the pitchers we traded for this year, I felt like have a lot of potential.
Well, since we're talking about sports, can we start this off with a little video that I found on TikTok?
Let's see it.
And I think it plays out perfectly. And that could kind of get us into like the, I guess, going back on week 1, okay?
I hope this has something to do with Kadarius, Tony.
Does it?
I hope so. I've seen some hilarious memes.
Oh, man, I hope this plays. It says it's going live, whatever that means. It says it's playing live. Well, while that's loading, I'm going to see if it'll actually work. That sucks. You don't see nothing on your end, do you?
Mm-mm.
Well, we'll try it out afterwards. But we can talk about the Chiefs game. Let's recap on the Chiefs game, okay? You and I, we weren't surprised that they lost the game. We weren't.
No.
Because we said it from the get-go that this was going to be the biggest test of the season for the Chiefs, and that was going to be week 1. And week 1's always weird.
There's no question about it. And I am proud of that Chiefs defense. They gave up 14 points to a team that I am certain will be in the playoffs. That was really good defense. Offense.
Okay. Before you get that far, let's recap on what we learned offensively and defensively. This is my take, and then I'll let you say your take. That way, it's not coming from a real Chiefs fan.
Let's hear it.
The Chiefs defensively, I think, stepped up to where I think that this kind of puts Jones in a bad spot because the defense stepped up in such a way that they can capitalize without Jones. They were just on the field way too much.
We saw
there towards the end of the third.
Right.
Like, I think this actually hurt Jones getting paid.
Yeah, absolutely right.
But offensively, I took it as Travis Kelce is the most relied upon player, most relied upon player offensively in the league.
He's the number 1, period. He's the number 1 receiver for the Chiefs. And it's not even a close second. That's how much of a difference he makes. That's crazy.
So what do you think this says about Jones? Do you think he gets signed still at anywhere near what he was asking for after week 1?
No. I think Jones either holds out till week 8 or we end up trading him.
Before week 8.
Yep.
I don't think he's worth as much money as he's asking for right now. For this defense, the way that they showed out on Thursday, I don't think he's worth it for the Chiefs to pay him that kind of money now that they know what their defense is all about.
Here's what we all know. The whole point of why Patrick took a team-friendly deal was to set the tone for all the other players. Travis has a team-friendly deal. The only way we can be a dynasty team is if players take team-friendly deals. If we pay Chris Jones what he's asking, we don't get to pay Creed Humphrey. We don't get to pay Nick Bolton. We don't get to pay several of our players. I think Pacheco and his contract will come under issues if we pay Chris Jones this money.
Well, this is only his second year, so I mean, I could see it in 3 years.
Down the line.
Yeah.
I think it creates issues for us if Chris isn't willing to take a team-friendly deal.
What do you think is more realistic? Do you guys think that you guys agree on a payment, or do you think he goes somewhere else? I think he goes somewhere else.
I don't know. I want to see what next week looks like. This week was so rough, and to see him there was heartbreaking. I want to see how it goes. So,
the strawberry magic now.
All right.
Raspberry's better. Raspberry's so far better. I think I might have gotten this video to load. Let's try it out.
Ooh, let's check it out.
No, this is crazy. Wide receiver tryouts for the Chiefs today. What the heck?
Oh,
we also happened last night. Email help Patrick at Chiefs.com. Oh, this is crazy.
Being able to catch dislike drops.
Oh, weekly pay 41,000. Oh,
nice.
I'm on my way.
Let's go. I can catch for 41,000.
I'm on my way. Oh, that's perfect.
Oh, that was good.
No, I came across that like right before we went live, and I was like, "Oh, this has got to be in here."
That's funny.
But no, I will I will end the closing of the Chiefs because I don't want to kick a Chiefs fan while they're down. Chiefs lost, and I'm not surprised about it. You're not surprised about it, but I will say this: not only I think this was the worst case scenario for Jones, but this proved that Travis Kelce is probably okay. I'm going to say this: Travis Kelce is the best tight end in the NFL, without a doubt,
For sure.
and this proved that because if he would have at least been in a couple drives per quarter, that would have made the difference.
Yeah,
and that's
sure.
and that's the I guess the set in stone what every Chiefs and what every person that's not a Chiefs fan knows. Like, it's guaranteed.
Yep.
Did you see the Browns versus the Bills game? Or Browns versus the Bengals game?
Yeah. Joe Burrow getting paid and then not showing up.
Not only did he not show up, but the Browns did show up.
Yeah.
Like, that was insane.
That's nuts.
No, I'm always going to give credit where credit is due, and I'm going to give 99.9% of the credit to the Browns. The rest of it was the Bengals just didn't show up. And it reminded me of the main event last night in the UFC fight, and that was Adesanya versus Strickland. And Strickland mopped the floor with him, and he shouldn't have done that. He was the least hit fighter in MMA history, and he straight up destroyed the guy's face. Just destroyed it. And that's pretty much what I got from this. Texans, Ravens, I didn't see that game, though. What were you going to say?
Nothing.
I didn't see the game, but we both lost, or we both won that game, but we both lost the Bengals game. Bucks at Vikings. The Vikings lost that game.
No.
Both lost that one. Falcons, I won. You lost because you picked the Panthers.
Yep.
Commanders barely won. They should have won by way more than that. Jacksonville won. 49ers obliterated the Steelers. Actually, can we say this? Mr. Irrelevant obliterated the Steelers.
Bro, if you're not on the Brock Purdy train now, get on it. Because Mr. Irrelevant is not so irrelevant.
Facts. Titans at Saints. The Titans came out swinging hard, but couldn't hit a ball.
No, Saints got the
ended
job
up
done. It's nice to be able to cheer for Derek Carr finally.
Yeah, but we both picked the Titans.
It's real nice.
Yeah. He looked pretty good in that gold and black. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
A lot better than silver and black. It's an upgrade.
And here's another one. The silver and black won today against the Broncos.
Against Denver. That's always a win. You always want to see Denver.
But I will say this. I called you and I asked you before. I wonder if either A, Sean Payton watches our podcast, or 2, did I predict the future? Because I said Sean Payton could come out kicking an onside kick at the kickoff. And what did he do?
He listens to the podcast for sure. He took your advice.
I'm 100% behind that. But then they got a penalty. Early touch.
They just touched it early. It worked. He recovered it.
Barely. It was by a hair. By a hair he would have had the ball. Eagles barely beat the Patriots. That was crazy. Did I call the flop? I mean, did I call the flop?
Yeah.
The Patriots are a good team. I'm not gonna deny that. They're good because of several different things. But the Eagles, having the quarterback that they are behind and the one that they're boasting about, you would think that it was won by at least 10 points to 2 touchdowns. I'm just saying. Rams at Seahawks. You won that one. And Dolphins at Chargers was a good, close game.
Yeah.
Only you won that one, but the Chargers were up at the very last few seconds. That was crazy.
What a tight one. I saw Eckler's 55-yard run.
Right. And oddly, the Packers surprised the hell out of me because they obliterated the freaking Bears. That was weird.
I don't think anybody expected the Packers to win that one.
And we have not yet seen the Cowboys versus Giants or the Bills versus Jets, but I think it's going to be good games on both of those Sunday night and Monday night football games.
Yep.
But what team surprised you most this weekend? I'm going to say this right like right off the bat, I'm gonna have to say it was the Packers, to be honest. So that's gonna be my most surprising win. Like the way that they won, not because they won,
Yeah,
the way that they won.
I think for me it's the Browns. I think
The Browns and the Packers are
one,
very
that's a
comparable.
rivalry game, so that should be closer. Two,
So are the Browns Packers.
that's
Oh,
do you mean
but
the
so are the Browns Bengals.
Bears,
So are the Browns
Packers?
Bengals.
Yeah.
Bears,
Yeah.
Packers, and
Bengals,
Browns Bengals.
Yeah. But that's my
They were both
point. I
blowouts.
expected the Browns Bengals to be a closer game, and I expected it to be in the Bengals' favor. So the fact that it's a blowout Browns side really catches me off guard.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably say that about a few of the games this week. I mean, the
Oh, yeah.
Raiders probably shouldn't have beat the Broncos, but I mean, again, that's a rivalry game. There was a lot of rivalry games. Like we said before, the college football doesn't do this right off the bat, at least with big name teams. Like this week, they had some pretty big upsets in week 2 of the college football league.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, the Colorado Buffaloes did not show face to that shit talking. I'm just saying, like they
Did
came to
not
play against
disappoint.
Nebraska.
They showed up against Nebraska too.
And all the Nebraska fans on my Facebook were talking shit about their all talk. Like it was just their week 1 versus a cut apart TCU team, and that's not at all what it was. It was a team that's been there before.
They're gonna learn
came to a team that hasn't been there in years.
They're gonna learn to put some respect on that name. Guys, the Air Capital of the world, Wichita, Kansas, is going to be playing host on September 23rd to the Heartland Championship Wrestling, y'all. They are pumped, man. They are what it's all about bringing the heart to the Heartland, and it is going to be exciting. They're putting on the Air Capital Brawl. It's going to be at the Osage Rec Center. Doors are going to open at 5 p.m. and that bell rings at 6 p.m. General admission is $12. You can get in premium seats at $15. If you want to get in early, get supplies, get front row seats, get meet a couple of the wrestlers, you can get VIP for $35. But make sure you check out this show. It is going to be a blast. And exclusive content right here on the Chubby Buddies podcast. We get to promote, and we've already even had some commentary from one of the guys, but we get to promote the main event of the Air Capital Brawl, and that is Aaron the Prodigy Helms versus Remington Rhor. And let me tell you, it has been a blast. We had Aaron the Prodigy Helms on last week. He talked a whole lot of smack. Definitely there is some passion, some energy going on between these two childhood friends, but it looks like maybe belt-driven rivals when everything's said and done. But Remington Rhor is coming on. We get to hear from him, get to hear his comments back towards Aaron Helms and hear what he has to say about this upcoming match and see what he's going to do and how he plans to respond to Helms saying that he made Remington Rhor and that he is the reason that Remington is who he is. I'd love to hear what Remington has to say in response to that, and you're going to get to hear it as well. So make sure you tune in, follow Heartland Championship Wrestling on all the socials, and make sure you tune in because Remington Rhor is coming, and he's going to share all his thoughts on this coming championship match for the Air Capital Brawl in Wichita. It's going to be a blast. Don't miss it.
Did you see any of the comments from Helms' interview? Like, he called out pretty much the entire organization.
He called out the whole back roster, dude. He was not shy at all. That's amazing.
No. And he said, I forgot what he said. This month's next flavor, I think, is what he called it. Is that what he said? Was it this month's flavor?
Flavor of the month. Flavor of the month.
Flavor of the month.
Bro, I'm going to have the nerves to call Remington Rhor the flavor of the month. Oh, Prodigy. That pride of yours is up there, baby.
It's going to be exciting, and I will be there ringside.
There's no question in my mind the Prodigy is confident in his abilities. The question is, can his muscles back up his mouth? That's the real question.
We'll see.
Yes, we will.
Saturday, September 23rd, Heartland Championship Wrestling is coming to the Heartland, Wichita, Kansas, the Air Capital of the world. they're going to be bringing you a show called the Air Capital Brawl. That is going to be, again, September 23rd. The doors open at 5. The bell rings at 6. And Heartland is a sponsor of the Chubby Buddies podcast. And being a sponsor, they give us pretty much any type of match they'll throw at us. And luckily this week we were blessed with having their main event. The main event is two childhood best friends. They are, I believe they're both from Wichita, Kansas. My guest that's going to be on today will be able to clarify all of this. So, but on September 23rd, the Heartland Championship Wrestling will be at the the Air Capital of the world with the Air Capital Brawl. Last week, we had the pleasure of having Aaron, the Prodigy Helms on, and he had quite a bit of stuff to get off of his chest. And to be fair, we are always going to offer the opponent of the matches to come on to here and be able to give their side of things. And the Prodigy had quite a bit of stuff to say, calling out pretty much the entire roster of HCW, including his opponent. And his opponent, my other co-host on here, Josh, referred to him as another worldly warrior. I'm not really sure or familiar with Remington and his wrestling style, but I will be there firsthand ringside. And Remington Rhor is going to be the guest today, and I cannot wait to get to pick his brain a little bit about what Aaron Helms had to say and kind of get his take on how he feels about Josh's tag that he gave him. So I want to welcome Remington Rhor.
Hey, man, how's it going?
How are you?
Good, man. Just doing some traveling.
Just don't wreck, because we need this match to actually go on. So
I live on the road. Definitely consider myself quite of a road warrior. So,
well, I mean, Aaron Helms pointed that out. He said that you've done many things that he has not done, and that's one of the things that he sort of led with, is that you painted this picture. I want to pick your brain with one thing that he led the whole thing with. He pretty much said that you painted blood, gore, and violence. Would you say that that's a good depiction of really how the match is either going to go, or how your style of wrestling is?
Yes, I would definitely consider myself what is called like a deathmatch specialist. That's my preferred style of fighting, is ultra violence. So he definitely painted the right picture, except picture's usually painted in crimson. So,
well, that's good. I mean, I just wasn't sure if everything that he was saying was on par, or if he was just trying to, I don't know, maybe kind of put himself out there a little bit more, kind of maybe calling stuff what it was or wasn't. I just wanted to actually get your part of that. Now, I will ask you this. I'm not sure if you listened to the old interview with him. What he said to, I guess, paint the of what was going to be the outcome of his side of things was that he was going to have to use his brute force to 1, 2, 3 you in the ring. Now, do you see that being one of his actual strong points? Because he pointed out your weaknesses. Now, I want to get to that here in a minute, but his strong point, he claims, is his brute strength. Is that something you would agree that he has?
Yes and no. I agree that he is definitely quite double tough, but he's also dealing with me. He's been kind of on hiatus for a while, where I haven't had a week off or, any time off from wrestling in probably the past 5 months. I haven't had a weekend where I'm not fighting somebody or bleeding somewhere. So, yes, he's strong. Is he stronger than me? I don't think so.
What about mentally? He claimed that you were mentally not ready for this match. Is that something that he may be a little far-fetched with, or is that something that maybe it's opinion-based, or is that something that's actually maybe a trait throughout your career or something like that, that maybe you have something going on to where you're mentally not ready? From talking to you now, I don't see that whatsoever.
No, I think he's trying to find a way to make himself feel more confident, because yes, I definitely don't use a lot of my fighter brain during a match, I'd say. So he's going to deem himself able to outsmart me when he thinks that's a negative. But more of the issue here is I switch my brain off. I go incredibly all by body feel. It's all primal instinct, you know. Primal. What did I've quoted myself, but I did say primal thoughts end up with primal consequences, which usually means somebody on the receiving end of quite a bludgeoning and a beating from the carnival.
That's some Viking talk right there, if you ask me. I mean,
Neanderthal talk. That's what I always call it.
Now, I'm not sure if this is something that's ever been said before, because I'm assuming you guys ever you two, you and Aaron Helms, have not ever had a main event match yet like this, have you?
No, not a main event. We've fought each other many times as youngins. We've fought each other in singles matches and other Kansas feds. But this will be our first time on, in the limelight, so to speak, really showcasing what Wichita has made. We're originally from Derby, Kansas, so that's still a suburb of Wichita.
Right.
It's really putting the homegrown boys on center stage. First time for that.
Right. Now, he claims to have been the reason for your success, pretty much. Now, is that something that you would be willing to give him maybe a piece of the pie to say, yes, I agree that you've brought me here, but your, I guess, desire and personal endeavors have kind of led you down the road to actually have this success? Would you give him any piece of that pie, or is that all you?
I'll give him credit where credit's due, for sure, because without Helms, I would have never gotten a seat at the table to begin with. Like, wrestling was a childhood dream that I didn't think was going to even be possible. He called me up one day while I was in college at the time, and he's like, "Hey man, do you want to come have a try out in an actual ring?" I was like, "You serious?" He said, "Yeah." So that shot at the old KWA training facility, first month in, and I never looked back. So I'll give him that. I would say he gave me the seat at the table, but he didn't put food on my plate. I did that. Every little, claw mark I made, every little scrap I grew, every mile I've driven, it's me. That helps.
And that's really why I wanted to ask, because I too am one to give credit where credit is due, and I kind of wanted to see where he was going with that, because like I said, I don't know you personally. I've met him a handful of times, and if he's willing to say that, especially publicly, I figured I might as well actually find out if what's true is true or false is false. Now, he called out, like I said, pretty much the entire roster at HCW. Now, would you say that he has enough clout, or enough, I guess, reason to call those people out, or is he biting off too much to chew? As a friend, would you say that he is maybe getting into murky water? Or
I did listen to it and watched the interview. So the way I'm going to put it is, I think Helms is getting a little overzealous. I wouldn't say he doesn't have the skills, he doesn't have the endurance, he doesn't have the durability, because he's proven that in the past. He's won championships in the past. But I think he's mentally telling himself he's going to have to do a lot to prove that he is still champion quality. He's been gone for a bit, been off and on, been spotty.
And he fessed up to that. He said that he has had personal life issues, and he was kind of using that as a gateway to claim that you and the ones that he called out, like who was it, Johnny Faith, Ray Leone, and Valencia de Paz, as he claimed that they were using him as stepping stones along with herself. And that's kind of where I was wanting to see if that was, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe is that a reason to say that this might be a reason why he would call if he loses this match, would that be I don't know, maybe that's wise because you guys have been out of the game for so long, or is it going to be something else? Is he mentally ready? That's the other question too.
I think he thinks that a lot of us haven't evolved since he's been gone. I've fought a lot of people. I've fought legends. I've beat legends. since me and him have last, faced off in the ring. And even to put it this way, like literally days before, about a day and a half before, I'll be on a flight back from Japan, where I'll be, spreading the violence that the Beast of Bleeding Kansas does all the way across the world. And I still think she thinks I'm just that kid who took his first bump in the ring in the KWA facility. So I think it kind of wraps back to him trying to give himself confidence to not be worried when he's, staring across the ring into my eyes. But I think he kind of is doing the same way with everybody else. He wants to think we're all on the same level still. And I think it's going to bite him in the ass.
I mean, we're for sure going to find out. And before I actually cut this out or let you get about your way, I've got two questions for you. One, how did you feel about Josh calling you the otherworldly warrior? Or he also said that you were supernatural in the way that you go about your business in the ring.
I loved it. To be honest, I never heard anybody really put me in those parameters, and I always try to channel. No, it's fine. Like I always love to channel that that inner animal, the inner rage that's in there, like almost all of us. So the fact that it's being able to be seen by somebody else through my movement, through my fighting, it's nice. It's good to have that really positive clarification. I love the name, and I fight in a supernatural way. It's really, really freaking cool.
I mean, it kind of tells me that you're doing your job in and out of the ring very well, very much so. Now, the last question I have for you is kind of can you go ahead and paint me or the listeners a small picture of what you expect to happen in the ring when you were standing across from Aaron Helms?
It's going to be intense. It's going to be a heavyweight title fight. It's going to be two big boys with a lot of history, throwing bombs, throwing each other, getting real violent, and putting out a lot of feelings that we've had either put up with each other or feelings we've had caused by others in the locker room or even just stuff that we've had gone through life. I think that's the one thing that both of us are going to get out of this. Yes, we've been friends since we've been toddlers, and who better to let out your frustrations and your aggressions with than your brothers? And yes, one of us has to win and lose, but I think both of us are going to feel lighter afterwards.
That makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, I've been mad at my co-host many times, but never really needed the opportunity to stand across from him in a ring. We use our words rather than our bodies.
It's a lot different when you get to use both.
Yeah, it is. I would agree. But, I mean, that's why we have people like you. I mean, you're traveling to Japan. You travel, like you said, every day of the week to be able to put yourself in that ring and through that type of intense movements. That athleticism is just it's like Joe Rogan. I mean, I'm quoting obviously probably the biggest podcast in the world. He said it, I think, best. Wrestling is the hardest form of entertainment to actually succeed in, and I would agree with him 100%.
It's incredibly hard. There's so many of us that, every one of us is trying so hard and breaking our bodies, breaking our minds, breaking our wallets, to try and get the right pair of eyes at the right time. And having to put yourself everywhere at once is really hard. But the grind is real, and sometimes that pays off.
All right. Well, before we go, would you like to kind of shout out maybe your socials or anything like that, or maybe upcoming shows before that match or maybe after?
Sure. Socials, you can find me under Carnivore_Rhor. That's spelled RHOR on Instagram. Remington Rhor on Facebook. You can check out the site Deathmatch Worldwide if you want to find any of my merch. The only shows I have scheduled before this fight is over in Tokyo and Osaka, Japan. So if you have the ability to watch that, I think it's the only way to watch on like Samurai TV. If not, you can watch the replays on Big Japan's YouTube channel. Other than that, I'm going to take every piece of knowledge I get from Japan and put it towards punching Helms a little harder.
Well, I can't wait to see the match. I can't wait to actually see you in person. I will be there rinks. I'm actually going to the Burt Kreischer show right before your guys' show on Saturday, so I'll be in the area. So, but before you actually head out, I'm going to have a word with you after in the waiting room here. So, but listeners, like he said before, check him out on his socials. Saturday, September 23rd, the Heartland Championship Wrestling will be traveling to the Heartland of Kansas, which is the air capital of the world, Wichita, Kansas, at the Osage Recreation Center. The doors will open at 5 and the bell rings at 6. This gentleman here is a part of the main event versus his opponent, Aaron Helms, two lifelong best friends since diapers, is what Aaron Helms claims. And don't be late. If you want to show up early, the 5 o'clock, you can join the VIP for $35. And I think there's 2 extra matches for that. Just make sure that you follow them on Facebook. They're going to get most of that information through their Facebook channel. And we also share it on our Facebook. So don't be late and tune in. Remington, I appreciate your time, man. And drive safe.
Thank you, man.
Prime time. Prime time's earned his name for sure.
Yes, he has.
So you want to pick these week 2 picks, and then we'll get back into other stuff?
Let's do it.
Vikings at Eagles for Thursday night football. Do you want me to pick first, or do you want to pick first?
Let me go first this time around.
Go ahead.
Vikings and Eagles, I'm calling Vikings. I'm trusting in Kurt on this one. Come on, Kirk.
You're going Vikings. I mean, after a loss, I want to say Vikings, but I'm going to have to go the Eagles since it's in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Sunday games, Ravens at Bengals. Another rivalry game.
Another rivalry game for sure, yeah. I'm going to go Bengals on this one. I think Joe's going to come out firing. Hopefully.
Again, after a loss, you would think so, but the way that he didn't keep his cool Joe composure this game at all. But they always start off weak, and that's why I'm saying this only, is that I think the Ravens are going to dominate this game just like the Browns did. The Bengals start off really slow. They have for the past 2 years, and they ended up in the AFC Championship. But the Ravens, so right now we're both picking opposites, so that's good. Seahawks at the Lions.
Ooh. Calling the Lions. Good. I think the Lions will take it.
I'm gonna agree with that one, only because I think that they're gonna keep that spark going. I think Dan Campbell is gonna be good at that.
Yep.
Colts at Texans.
Ooh. Probably the Colts. Did you see what their defense did today?
I did see.
That little punch-out move, that was genius.
Yeah, did you see that weird hit that against the Commanders?
Mm-mm.
And the ref got knocked down, and then he sat up like he's in the coffin.
Sits up like the Undertaker. It was cool,
and then
man.
Throws the flag. Yeah.
Yep.
And you say Colts, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. I think that the rookie of the year is going to show up that week. Bears at Bucks.
Ooh. Give me the Bears on that one.
I'm going Bucks. Chiefs at the Jaguars.
Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs.
If Travis Kelce is 100% healthy, I'm 100% calling the Chiefs. So I'm going to call the Chiefs because I don't see anything other than Travis playing. Packers at the Falcons. I think the Falcons also surprised a lot of people in the NFL because of where they've been and what they have or haven't done.
Are the Panthers that intimidating of a team for their week 1?
I would say that it's not that they're intimidating. I would say that it's 2 young quarterbacks playing in the league. I mean, you've got the Panthers who have a rookie quarterback, and you have the Falcons who he's on his second year. And the year that he was drafted, he was the second quarterback taken in the 3rd round, I think, total.
Yeah.
He was literally quarterback 2 in the 3rd round. So quarterback 1 went to the Steelers, and then round 3 came up, I do believe, and then it went to the Panthers. So there wasn't many quarterbacks to choose from. So I don't know. I'm going to have to say the Packers. I think they surprised me more than the Falcons did this week, but that's just me.
Did I tell you who I was going for? Packers.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, you
Packers.
asked me a question. You said, did
Oh,
the Falcons
Packers.
surprise you this week against the Panthers?
Packers for
So,
sure.
this could be a good game. Raiders at Bills.
Ooh, no.
I think it could be.
It'll be
With
the
the way
Bills.
that they showed up today, do you think it'll be
It'll
the
be
Bills?
the Bills.
Well, I'm going to agree, but I think it'll be a good game. Chargers at Titans.
Chargers on that one.
I
think
picked the Chargers
can get it
also.
done.
49ers at the Rams. I am 100% behind the 49ers on that one.
I'm going to have to go 49ers as well, but I think that'll be a good game.
Because of the rivalry.
Yep.
Giants at the Trash Fires. Who do you think that is?
Is that the Commanders?
No.
No.
It's the Giants at the dumpster fires. Cardinals.
Oh, Cardinals, yeah. Giants.
Yeah, me three.
Give me Saquon.
Jets at the Cowboys. I think this is going to be a test for the Cowboys.
I think that's going to be a good game, but I think the Cowboys will pull that off.
I hope so, but I don't ever bet against the Cowboys, so I'm not going to start now.
Actually,
Dolphins
you know what? No, let me go. Let me go Jets on that one. Just to go against you.
Dolphins at Patriots.
Dolphins.
I'm going to go Patriots. Just
Did you
because
see
it's
the
a
way
rivalry game.
Tyreek balled out today?
I did, but I think that, Belichick hates losing. Saints at Panthers.
Saints.
I'm going to go. Yeah, me too. The way they showed up today was pretty amusing. All right, here we go. Monday Night Football. Browns at the Steelers.
Ooh, rivalry game. Browns.
I'm going to have to agree with you because the Steelers just got whomped by the 49ers.
Yeah, that was rough. And I've got a lot of Steelers friends. That was rough for all of them.
Rough.
Tyler, Josh.
All right.
Sorry, y'all.
Total score for me of that game is going to be 49.
49 for the Browns. Steelers?
Yeah, total.
I don't think it'll be that high. I'm going to say 42.
That high? That's a touchdown difference, buddy.
Yep. I don't think it'll be that high.
We got the weekly in for that. If you, as a listener, would like to comment and follow along to see if yours matches up, put your picks in the comments down below, please. Yeah. Why don't you?
Give us your picks. Let's see how you match up. How you measure up.
We still have one more. We still have one more game tonight, and then one more game tomorrow. But now that we'll be one game ahead, you won't be here next week. So, unless you want to record when you come back, that's going to be totally up to you.
Maybe.
Where did we start this out at? Oh, we started out with me talking about my maiden name.
Yep.
And how that's totally not cool. What is the most petty thing? I do want to ask, since we were talking about reviews earlier, what's the most petty thing that you've wrote a bad review on? Like, what's the littlest? Like, I could see that people complaining about McDonald's service or McDonald's food, that is petty, right? But what is the next most petty thing that you personally have either wrote a bad review about or called or emailed to complain about?
Gosh.
I've got one, and it's pretty embarrassing.
Trying to think of.
While you're thinking, you want me to tell you mine?
Yeah, tell me yours.
All right. So being where I work, it's not easy to. Okay, it's still easy to pack for lunch, right? But I'm known for taking like quick TV dinners. I was in this Hungry Man phase. Like I was taking the Hungry Mans for every lunch. Like I would get something different. But like when they change it up, like it irks me so bad. Like whenever they change like the style of meat that they put in there, it pisses me off, and I have no reason for it, right? But I got a meal, and it didn't show on the cover that anything had been changed. But when I microwaved it and nuked it and got ready to eat it, it was like, have you ever seen salt lick for like deer that farmers buy? They put it out in the field. When I bit into this meat, it was like biting into a salt. Like it wasn't hard, but it was so salty. Yeah. Granted, we're talking about a TV dinner here, but I, being the petty person that I am sometimes, I reached out to Hungry Man. I couldn't find their email, but they have a Facebook. I reached out to them on Facebook and sent them a message about how distraught I was at biting into their chicken fried steak that didn't look like chicken fried steak, didn't taste like chicken fried steak, but the cover of it said otherwise. So that is pretty petty for me.
Ew.
And it was a long, like 2-page essay.
I think the pettiest I've ever been is I participated in a campaign when a TV show got canceled where all of the fans sent nuts to the producers of the show to try and get it brought back on air. And I definitely sent a package of nuts.
Do I know what show this is?
I don't know. Did you ever watch Jericho?
I never saw Jericho, but I only know that they have like 2 seasons, right?
Yeah, it was only 2 seasons, but it was a really good show. And so all the fans like rallied around it after season 1. It was canceled. So all the fans rallied around it and they got it greenlit for an 8-episode special. And so we got some resolution. But yeah, I remember like the fans were irate and there was a big organization of them to send packages of peanuts to the producers. And so I definitely bought a package of peanuts and mailed it to them.
I could see myself doing that with some shows. Like I was pretty upset when I found out that they weren't going for season 3 of Mindhunter on Netflix. Like that blew my mind. Dude. I was totally into that show. It was so good.
A great one.
And they just stopped it because of the cost. It's like, but you have like little kids in cheerleading outfits on your Netflix shows, and you got no problem doing that. Tell me that don't cost no money,
right?
But I don't know. Like, there's really nothing that you could send to them to make them go, "Oh, we're nuts." I mean, except for nuts, of course. But they're talking about people who are nuts, like serial killers. So like, oh, we get it. Did you like that show?
I loved it. Thought it was so good. I like the lead actor in it.
Oh, the kid, the younger guy, or the older one.
The younger one. The younger one. In fact,
the older one is good too.
He plays King George in Hamilton, and he's hilarious.
Never seen Hamilton. I mean, that's a musical, right?
Yeah, it's a musical.
I mean, I've heard good things, but it's probably not for me.
It's very good. It's a good musical. You gotta like musicals, though.
Yeah, and that's...
you don't like musicals.
No, I do not. I mean, it's not that I don't like them. I prefer not a musical. If that's... I mean, because there are some movies, like Grease was a phenomenal movie. Like, I enjoyed Grease, and that was a musical. But there's not many movies that would attract my interest like that, I guess you could say. I mean, Grease had its... I mean, granted, it came out in the early... Was it earlier 80s? Or... I don't remember. But it played more into not just the music side of things. It played into being a high schooler, played into car racing, played into like cliques in school and stuff like that. So, but I remember you being a fan of Sweeney Todd too, right?
Oh gosh, yeah, I loved Sweeney Todd.
I think I could probably get behind that because I've seen. That's the name of it, not Sweeney Todd.
No, Sweeney Todd. That was just a moniker. The Fleet Street Barber. Or the
because I remember I remember a show or a movie called Jersey Girl, I think is what it was, with Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
His daughter played in that musical, I guess, in the movie.
Really?
And it was about like a serial killer. Well, yeah, it was about a serial killer barber, right?
Mm-hmm. It's really good.
I mean, I like serial killer.
It's more than just serial killer because it's a story of it's kind of a not a biopic, but a revenge story. You learn about Sweeney Todd, you learn about his history, and you learn why he's there and why he's doing what he's doing. And so it's just kind of a macabre tale of people being pushed past their limits and how far they'll take it and stuff like that. But it's really well done.
How old is it?
Early 2000s, but the musical's even older than that. I think the musical's from the 70s or the 80s.
Because I remember your wife being like a big fan of Wicked, I do believe.
Mm-hmm. We've seen Wicked 3 times. It's been so good.
And, I will say this, that I remember being in your house and like that stupid song was like really popular. Not by Wicked. It was what show was that you guys were watching? Man, the talking about minutes, something 100, 1700,
Rent?
500. Oh God,
That's Rent. We didn't watch
I
that one.
I thought you did. Well, it was a popular song
Oh yeah,
when you
very
guys were like,
popular. But yeah, no, that wasn't.
and you never saw it.
No,
That's weird.
Rent's not my cup of
Then
tea.
I don't think any musical is my cup of tea. But I'll try it out. Like I'll try something out until I have to shut it off. I will shut it off. I've got no problem with that. Just like with like I couldn't get into Supernatural, and that was something that you and Heather loved.
Oh, we love that one.
And I
If
couldn't
you
get
want to suffer
into.
well, go sit through 15 seasons of Supernatural.
I just finished Friday Night Lights, and that is, I mean, I will say this: your complaint about Friday Night Lights is that it didn't portray football enough. I think that was the idea of it, because when you watch something about football and hearing about Texas football, like all you know about is football, and this portrayed into people fighting for the education behind football, not just football. And I would say the later seasons portrayed more into the actual football play,
Well, that's
like
good.
the playing of football. So, I mean, if you ever go back to watch, I don't know how many seasons you watch, but there's only like 5 seasons. So it's not a hard watch at all. And my wife actually started to enjoy it. So, and that's very rare for her to watch sports, anything. Any other movies that you're like, I'm excited for a couple movies. I just got done watching a movie, and I don't know if you've seen it. Right after we got done recording last week, I watched the movie Champions. Have you seen that movie?
I have not. Is it good?
Okay. Do you know how much I liked The Ringer?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Is it
Imagine
in the
The
same vein
Ringer.
as The Ringer?
100%.
Okay, I'm gonna love
Not
it.
like the premise. The premise isn't behind it, but the idea is. Okay, imagine Hardball meets The Ringer.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Okay. It is hilarious without like.
Hilarious.
I don't
without
want to put
being
this
abusive and offensive.
Yes, 100%. But like, The Ringer
Without
did the
taking
same
advantage
thing.
of special needs.
Yes. Yeah,
I love
and
it.
the kids are like, I think excited, like the ones that actually have the disability, I think are excited to actually make fun of their own disability, because that's what makes it funny.
The freedom to act and be themselves and crack jokes at their own weaknesses is critical.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
100%. Like
fun.
it was like it brought back that whole Ringer vibe to me, and that's probably what kind of like made me really like get into it even more. But I had never heard of it, and I saw it on Amazon Video or Movie or whatever. So I click it and I play on it. Woody Harrelson is the main character, which right there, that's a selling actor for me, just because I love his humor. I love his humor.
Yeah, he's always bringing funny.
And and just the small little, I mean, yeah, there's some cheesy parts in it, but that's the idea. It needs to be cheesy in order for it to be what it ended up being.
That's what makes the story good, is that it has to have the cheesy elements to it.
And it's about a basketball team. Like they're a basketball team and they go on to play in the championship. But I think you'll really enjoy it. If you liked The Ringer as much as I did, I think you will, and you dealing with people with disabilities, I think that you'll appreciate it just because.
When did we get ice cream?
Oh, yeah. You picked up my CD in broad daylight and you scratched it.
Up or down?
And the bad thing about The Ringer, I will say this.
Tucked in. Tucked in.
But the bad thing about The Ringer is, I will say this, is that they didn't have everybody that was in the show didn't actually have disabilities. They were just portraying that they did.
True.
The champions, everybody on the team had a disability. And that's what I think added to the, I guess,
and so they're laughing and using their own humor of their own. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
I mean, you have a special needs Jordan on this team. Like he's a ladies' man, and like he's like talking like, oh dude, it is so good. And then you have a guy that's afraid of showers, and I laughed my ass off watching this movie.
Great.
Like, but one that I'm excited about, I will say this, and I don't know if it's actually going to be on Apple TV or if I just saw that like a part of the like premiere that it was coming out on, was Napoleon. Have you seen that?
Uh-uh.
trailer for Joaquin Phoenix is playing Napoleon Bonaparte, man. It looks so good. It's like the Gladiator meets true, like what we would know. Like, yeah, the Gladiator was a true story, but like, are all the characters real in that? I'm not 100% sure about that. Like enough to write I guess, to put into a history book, like Napoleon is. Like Napoleon, you have enough history background to put him into a history book, right?
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Now, the Gladiator, I know that there were different things about the Gladiator that were true, but how much of it was true? I would say maybe less than 50% probably of the movie.
Yeah, if I remember right, the Gladiators like uses real people, but not like a real timeline. Like Marcus Aurelius wouldn't have been around the same. I can't remember how it works, but if I remember right, Gladiator uses real people, but not a real timeline. Whereas it sounds like this might use a real timeline for Napoleon.
Yeah, this is like a build-up show. You'll have to check out the trailer for it. It looks really good. And Joaquin Phoenix was a really good bad guy in the Gladiator. I will give you that. And this, like Napoleon, like when we read about Napoleon in school, he was partially a bad guy, partially a good guy. I mean, like you don't actually know until you actually go deep
He was
into
a
his
general.
yeah, he was a general that made
He's
himself a
a
king.
bad guy. He did his job.
But he made himself a king, didn't he?
Huh?
Didn't he make himself a king?
No, well, the French made him a ruler, but he wasn't like great at it. Got himself exiled anyways, so.
Yeah, but like I think I'm big into the history movies, so I think I'll enjoy this one. But I think it had Apple TV on it, and I want to know like if it's going straight to Apple TV or if it's going to be maybe sponsored by Apple TV. I don't know, but it looks pretty good. Have you seen any movies lately or shows?
No, not really. No, hopefully I'll get some.
I never did. Hopefully, I'll give us the Oppenheimer sometime.
This week, I'm hoping to get some movies in while we're on vacation.
Yeah, like driving, or do you think we'll go see them?
Probably just rent them and watch them. I don't know.
Is Heather driving the entire way, or?
No, we're flying.
Ooh, okay. Well, that's always better because then you don't feel like obligated to talk to the person next to you. You can watch a movie while they sleep in the chair next to you. Like, I don't know if you know this or not. Like, how many flights have you been on? International flights?
International? None.
None? Okay, so you've never been out of the country for a flight?
No.
Okay, so when I went to Jamaica, while the Fast and Furious was in the theaters, the one where Paul Walker, I think it was the one where Paul Walker, no, it was one where Vin Diesel had to turn bad. Which one was that?
8, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so that one was still in theaters in the States. That was on the flight to Jamaica. So that was kind of wild. I was like, what?
That is wild.
I was like, so I watched it, and then it cut off like 30 minutes before the movie ended because our flight had ended. So I didn't ever get to finish it.
Dang.
Probably wouldn't have lost it or missed out on anything, so I'd be all right with it. But have you gotten to see what was that show on Apple TV with Jennifer Aniston?
The morning show?
Yeah, the morning show. It's actually pretty good.
I haven't.
Did you like The Newsroom?
I never watched it.
Oh man, I think we've talked about this before.
Is that the
like,
Jeff
if
Bridges
you liked,
yeah,
no, it's Jeff Daniels.
Or Jeff Daniels, yeah, not Bridges.
Yeah, it's Jeff Daniels, and he plays a conservative news reporter.
I've seen
and then
clips from it. I've heard good things about it. I've just never watched it.
It's another one of those shows that ended too early. Like it ended too sudden to really like say whether or not it ended good or bad.
Sure.
But I think that they could have kept it going for sure, especially during like the Trump elections and stuff like that. I think that could have played into the show ending for sure, but that's the only downfall about that. Like whenever you have a, I guess, political view of things, then the show gets bad heat, especially if you're on the side of Trump, like it's going to get even more bad heat or bad publicity. Whether or not they're actually portraying that they're for Trump or against Trump, if they use the word Trump, it's going to get bad publicity.
Sure.
And that's the downfall about politics. One bad instance is going to give you bad feedback for the remainder of your, I guess, existence. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. It's a slippery slope, dude. It's tough, man. You're in the
But I
public
didn't get to
eye, and
ask
it
you.
seems like everybody's looking for a way to take you down.
Yeah. And I didn't get to ask you how you were. I mean, we kind of started this episode off a little bit different, like weird. How you been?
Good. Tired. It's been a busy week. I'm ready for vacation. I've been kind of, when you go on vacation, you usually try to prep everything and make sure while you're gone, nothing falls apart. So that's what most of my work's been this week, is making sure everything's going to run fine while I'm gone.
Are you packed?
No, I got to pack tonight.
Like literal Joshua Miller.
Oh, yes.
Not packed. He
That's
packs
me.
minutes before. He's going to take a nap before he leaves. What time do you leave?
I don't think we leave till the afternoon.
Well, that's good.
Got a little time.
Flying out of Springfield? Everybody's going?
Just me and Heather.
Oh, okay. Well, who's watching the kids?
They're going to stay here. Mom and Dad's going to stay with them. Interestingly, the flight out of Springfield to Punta Gorda, round trip, $100.
Round trip?
Round
for
trip.
each ticket?
Yes, sir.
So $50 and $50.
Yes, sir. It's nice.
How did that happen?
I just got a really good deal. We were excited.
That's the cheapest flight I've ever heard of.
Yeah, dude. I was like, "Are you serious?" And Heather was like, "Yeah, it's just that time." And I said, "Well, buy them." It's like, that's a no-brainer.
Well, yeah, I guess it is during like hurricane season, so that probably has something to do with it.
Yeah, school's starting back up. That's a factor, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So,
usually you hear that being one way, like there, like it would be $50 there, not and back.
I would totally expect to pay $100 there and $100 back. That seems reasonable. So for $100 round trip, I'll take it.
Your Chiefs are going to be at the Jags this week.
I know.
You guys try to go?
No, Jacksonville's too far away. We're going to be in Naples.
Oh, I didn't know.
So that's the other side of the state.
What are you guys planning on doing, like outside of like for your guys' own personal interest? Like, are you guys going to go see anything?
Hit the beach, maybe do some fishing, see some friends that are starting a church plant down there, and just kind of rest. That's the main thing we're planning on doing.
That's called vacation. Are your kids mad?
No, they get it.
Well, at least they're going to be with your parents.
Yep.
They aren't going to be too bored. How's your dad been since he had surgery? I think 2-3 months. It was back in May. Wasn't it May when he had his surgery? Or June?
A little earlier than that.
I thought he had it after the graduation.
I don't think so. Maybe it was. No.
Because I saw him at Paige's graduation party, and then he was having his surgery.
Was he?
Yeah, he hadn't had it yet. He still had his pacemaker
Yeah, it would have been May. It would have been May then.
Okay. How's he been?
Good. Good, yeah. He's, weirdly enough, he's having a hard time finding out, like he's trying to find purpose in retirement. He struggled with that. Like he's used to doing. And so now he's retired. And so he doesn't have anybody to tell him what to do. And he has to figure out what to do with his time.
I'm sure he could find something.
Oh, he will. He just, that transition was kind of sudden for him. And so he's figuring it all out.
Tell him to start a podcast.
That would be great.
A trucker podcast.
Oh, man, that would be fun.
Well, hey, this is going to be a short episode. This is the shortest I think we've ever cut to. When do you get back? You get back on Monday of next week?
Yeah, Monday of next week.
So do you want to try to shoot for Tuesday?
Yeah, we could shoot for Tuesday. Does that give you enough time to edit?
Hey, there's never enough time to edit because there's always something that I miss. But I mean, sure. I do with what I can.
We could shoot for Tuesday though if you want.
That's totally up to you, man. I'm working with your schedule.
Let's
That
shoot
way,
for
I mean-
Tuesday. If we can't do it, then we'll just hold off for a week and we'll come back to it on Saturday or Sunday. Okay.
Well, Tuesday will be after all the games are done after we just picked, so we won't have to try to backtrack for another game.
Well, that'll be good. That'll be good. We'll know the results, and we'll still be able to pick the next weeks before we air. Oh,
for sure. But if you aren't a subscriber, I really hope that you consider subscribing. Hit that like button, hit us a comment, let us know your picks for this next week. Also, if you're a Primal Beef Jerky customer, let us know your favorite flavors of Primal. If you were a Heartland Championship Wrestling subscriber, let us know your favorite wrestler. Let us know who you think is going to win between. What's up?
I was going to say, who's winning this? Who's winning this main event fight? And then who should be the challenger afterwards? That's what I want to know. Who do y'all want to see fighting for that title?
Who do you want to see on the podcast? We can have them on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like whether or not they're wrestling or not. So do you want to see some of the people that Aaron Helms called out? Because I sure do, because I want to hear what they thought about what he had to say. I do want to hear
their remarks.
Valencia Del Paz.
Yeah.
Is it Valencia Del Paz? I think he would be an interesting person to have on here after listening to what Aaron Helms had to say about his competition being the flavor of the month.
Flavor of the month. Yeah, I'd love to hear what some of those guys have to say about being called flavor of the month. I don't think they'll think too highly of that. That'll be good.
Well, let me freshen your breath. Let me tell you. But no, like I said, just check out our sponsors of the podcast. That's Primal Beef Jerky and Heartland Championship Wrestling. Go to Primal's website at www.feedonprimal.com and follow Heartland Championship Wrestling on Facebook, X, Instagram, and all those other social medias that you're a subscriber of, because I'm sure they're on there. They put out different content every single day, probably a couple hours, different hours of the day too. Like we said before, it's the largest growing Facebook page that him and I both follow. And they do respond. I mean, they're very, they want that interaction. So
they're bringing the heart to the Heartland. Let me tell you.
For sure. And don't forget to check out their upcoming show in Wichita, Kansas at the, what rec center?
The
Osage Rec Center.
Osage Rec Center.
On September 23rd. Bell rings at 6 p.m. But I love you, buddy. I love you.
I love you too.
Bye.
Bye.